Apenas va a empezar, pastor. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Muy buenas tardes a todos. Muy buenas tardes a todos. It's going to be a bilingual broadcast for everybody to know what is happening. The Procuraduría General de la Justicia del Estado, que that is the authority for the justice of state, is right here doing a course let me get out of here before I can explain to you guys. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News. How's everybody doing? Muy buenas tardes a todos. Muy buenas tardes a todos. Estamos en el albergue Agape, donde la Procuraduría General del Estado, de la Justicia del Estado, y también Grupo Beta han llegado aquí a dar un curso de seguridad, de antisecuestros y de seguridad para los migrantes. Vamos a ver qué tipo de curso están dando. Good evening to everyone. I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News. The Justice of State, the Department of Justice of State, came over here to the shelter Agape to do a course, on kidnappings, on security from coyotes, and also to teach them to stay away from the coyotes and to be doing the process legally and right. This is the new obligation that our governor is telling everybody to start doing now, from the Justice of the Security of Justice of State, and also Grupo Beta. Grupo Beta is the number one that is in charge of immigrants, and the number one that picks up no te estoy tomando, esto me lo estoy tomando a mí. The number one that picks up immigrants over here in the state of Baja. Para todos, I will translate now. Para todos ustedes los que me están viendo, señores, estamos en vivo desde el albergue Agape, donde el día de hoy, señores, está la Procuraduría General de la Justicia del Estado dando un curso de seguridad, de secuestros y también de cómo hacer las cosas correctas para poder, para todos los migrantes que se encuentran en el albergue Agape. También, señores, tenemos a la de Grupo Beta, que ahorita tendremos una entrevista con ellos, de los de Grupo Beta, para preguntarles y hacerles preguntas, hacerles básicamente la pregunta de qué es lo que están haciendo ellos, señores. Ellos para controlar esta afluencia de migrantes y dónde los van a estar metiendo si las deportaciones van a estar siendo en una escala mayor. For everybody that is watching, the questions that I'm going to ask these people are going to be in Spanish, and also, I will translate in English for the Mexican people. They will understand eventually as I'm speaking and I'm asking questions. And also, when I finish the questions, I will immediately, translate to English. That is the chief commander of the Procuraduría General del Estado, of the Justice of State. And these are really important people that we need to ask them, and we need to address them, and we get to have relations with them. The reason why is they can tell us a lot of information that we need to know about the situation with migrants over here in our city. So it's really important for us to be here. I will be in the room for approximately a few minutes, and then I will go out and ask you guys what is going on when regarding this regarding that interview, regarding the courts. Marigold, and a little louder on the volume, please, Oscar. Thank you. That's as much as louder I can get, Miss Mary. I'm already cranked out the volume. I can't be screaming. There's got people over here. So I will change the camera right now. I'm trying to do the best that I can for you guys. Let's go. Señores, vámonos hacia adentro. No puedo hablar mucho, señores, porque están dando un curso de seguridad y ustedes escucharán. Me saldré y entraré constantemente para que ustedes sepan de lo que están hablando.
Lo que va a pasar acá es que estas personas van a lucrar en primera instancia con lo que les están ofreciendo, y en segunda, desde hace aproximadamente 10 años, yo creo. ¿Me ayudan a bajar un poquito el volumen? Porque creo que está... En el 2010, más o menos, empezamos a detectar nosotros que el fenómeno de migración que había hacia esta frontera, el cual siempre ha existido. Históricamente Tijuana ha sido una ciudad que recibe migración tanto interna de nuestro país como de otros países. ¿Okay? Eso es histórico. Todas las personas que nacimos en Tijuana sabemos, entendemos que así somos, estamos todos en esta ciudad. Entonces, los migrantes que vienen con afán de conocer todo siempre hay en Tijuana. Y las estructuras de personas que se dedicaban al tráfico y el cruce ilegal de migrantes a Estados Unidos siempre han existido. Ahora bien, aproximadamente en esos años, 2008, 2005 para acá, las leyes en Estados Unidos se han venido modificando constantemente. Y las estructuras estas que se dedicaban a ayudar a migrantes, o lo voy a poner entre comillas, porque cobran. Estas estructuras de personas que se dedicaban a eso, pues entonces se veían en riesgo ellos mismos. ¿Por qué? Porque si eran detenidos por autoridades americanas llevando migrantes hacia ese país de forma ilegal, ahora ellos podían estar detenidos allá, ¿sí? No solo meses, sino incluso años. Y ellos lo que no querían es ponerse en riesgo, ¿sí? Ellos tenían un récord allá de que sí eran personas que usaban migrantes. Ante esta circunstancia, las organizaciones que se dedicaban a esto, pues preguntaron.
Basically, this guy, what he's saying, and what he's doing, he's a lawyer for the Justice Department of State right here in the state of Baja California. Practically, what he's saying is that he's laying it out regarding how they're going to try to manipulate them, and to cross illegally to the United States, so they cannot put attention to basically to coyotes, so they cannot put attention to irregular, crossings to the United States, to offerings from people that they can come over here and they can tell them, you know what, I will offer you $500. Pay you the price for you to come to the United States is $500 for you to cross illegally to the state. So he's basically explaining how the process is going to change and is going to be a migration. This is the sad thing about it. As I'm hearing him, it's like Tijuana people and the authorities are basically accepting that we are going to have affluency of migrants and it's not going to stop. It's basically accepting the process and is basically telling everybody that how to migrate correctly. So they are now giving classes of security. Practically that is what they're doing, and practically that is what they're saying. So it shouldn't be like that. It should be. It is a good thing, but that means that there's programs now for them when they come over here. They're getting them prepared for them to migrate. What does that tell you? Thing that I told you about our new governor. A lot of things are going to change. A lot of things are going to change. Our new governor is going to build a shelter for more than 5,000, from 3 to 5,000, and this comes with these programs that they need to put in, security programs for them to understand that migrating through a coyote is not the correct way, and there's going to be sanctions, or they're going to be going to jail. So let me change the camera again and let's go. Básicamente, señor, I will translate now. Básicamente, para toda la gente en español, lo que está viniendo a hacer la Procuraduría General de la Justicia del Estado es venir a dar un curso de seguridad, de cómo no hacerle tanto caso también a los coyotes, a las gentes que trafican personas, y las medidas de seguridad que tienen que utilizar ellos para poder evadir eso, ese candado abierto que tienen. También cancelar todos los ofrecimientos que les hacen estas personas, de manera también que ellos tienen que entender que va a haber sanciones y que pueden ser puestos a las autoridades, señores. Eso es lo que está dando la Procuraduría General del Estado. Vamos de vuelta hacia adentro. Let's go back in. Buenas tardes. let me get out real quick and get you guys this information that is really important. They're not indoctrinating these people. They're basically teaching them the security measures to not pay attention to coyotes. Now, this is a really important thing that he's doing, and I like that. He's telling them how to manage a kidnapping when it comes for them. If the cartel comes over here and they start to kidnap a migrant, how can they call the police? How can they, how can they avoid a kidnapping? And how can you can be accomplice of being involved in the kidnapping? Because over here in Mexico, the laws are really different. The laws are completely different. So what he's telling everybody is, don't be an accomplice to that. Call the authorities and let the authorities handle everything when it comes to kidnappings. When it comes to kidnappings, and when it comes to the volume is all the way up. Silvia, el volumen está hasta arriba. Es lo mejor que puedo hacer. So when it comes to kidnappings, this is what they're doing. So they're practically telling them how to avoid a kidnap, or or how to call the authorities, and also let them know that they're involved. A migrant is kidnapped. What are you talking about? I just explained. So if you're late, go back to the feed as soon as I finish, and I will explain to you. Hi, how you doing? Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News. We're live over here with the Department of Justice of State. They are giving a course of how they can avoid, how can they be secure migrants, how can they be secure, how can they avoid a kidnap, and how can they denounce, or how can they report to the authorities what is happening with that particular situation, and how they cannot be a part of it. How can they be a part of it, of this kidnapping? Señores, I will translate now. Señores, muy buenas tardes. Soy Oscar Blue para Border Network News. Señores, estamos viendo cómo el Departamento de la Procuraduría General de la Justicia del Estado está dando un curso, señores, de cómo prevenir el secuestro en migrantes, cómo prevenir el secuestro de migrantes, y cómo básicamente denunciar si están siendo parte del secuestro, y sobre todo, lo más importante es cómo no formar parte del secuestro, porque muchas de estas personas dicen que son la manera de pagar por el secuestro es por medio de pagos de Estados Unidos. Eso viene siendo la explicación de lo que está haciendo el hombre aquí adentro, para que todos nosotros podamos entender que están dando ya cursos de seguridad para los migrantes. For everybody to understand, I will translate now. For everybody to understand, they're giving security courses to migrants so they can avoid the kidnapping, or how can they, if they're in a kidnapping situation, how can they call the authorities, and how can they manage the authorities, so they will avoid a kidnapping. The majority, a thing that is really important that the official is saying is that the majority of these people that they are kidnapped, they are always, the money always comes from the United States, from the family members that they have in the United States. So basically, that's what he's saying. I will stay a little bit on the feed, and then I will cut the feed, and then I will come back as soon as they finish, so I can do interviews with them, and you guys can see them. I will go a little bit in, so see if they're changing the subject. They're showing a graphic of the whole map of Mexico, and they're putting the red dots on where the most kidnappings happens. So I will change the camera. I will translate now. Para aquella gente, señores, están poniendo una gráfica de básicamente de dónde son los puntos rojos, de donde sufren más los migrantes secuestros, y les están enseñando los procedimientos para cómo evadir un secuestro y no formar parte de. Señores, vamos a cambiar la cámara.
ustedes tienen la posibilidad,
Vienes con la
si los
P,
van a subir
con
los
la PG.
bomberos a un taxi, a un
¿De
camión,
que eres
o
abogado?
algo que sea,
Sí.
por favor,
Sí,
tomen
licenciado.
nota,
¿Habrá un
tomen
momento que me des
nota,
afuera para una entrevista
taxi, ese
pequeña?
camión. ¿Sí? ¿Por qué? Porque
Él es el titular, no, pero de aquí que termine, ¿no? Sí.
si van a estar en algún lugar público,
Sí. No va a ser mucho.
fíjense bien donde hay cámaras de seguridad. Fíjense bien, siempre estén alerta, recuerden. Ustedes mismos, desgraciadamente, la situación del migrante me pone en vulnerabilidad porque me estoy dando a alguien que no conozco, recuerden eso. Pero eso no significa que me tenga que dejar. Yo voy a estar alerta y voy a estar observando siempre. Y si esas personas me citan en algún lugar público, yo voy a buscar el lugar exacto donde hay una cámara de un negocio. Ya la vi la cámara y voy a tratar de acercarme lo más que pueda hacia allá y que el delincuente dé la cara a esa cámara. ¿Sí? Porque si en algún momento tienen que denunciar, ustedes me van a decir, ¿saben qué? En el Oxxo que está en fulana parte, ahí estuve con mi secuestrador o con la persona que me robó. Y ahí puede ver usted su cara. E inmediatamente voy con él y voy a sacar ese video. ¿Sí? Y se me facilita mucho más detener a esas personas. Entonces ustedes siempre tienen que estar alertas. ¿Cuál es mi intención de venir a platicar con ustedes? Mi intención de venir a platicar con ustedes no es decirles que vamos a acabar con los secuestros. Desgraciadamente es un fenómeno que sí me va a costar muchísimo trabajo. Pero lo que quiero es que sepan qué hacer y cómo cuidarse en esto. Y que siempre estén alertas. ¿Sí? Que siempre estén cuidándose y viendo. Más cuando tienen niños. ¿Sí? Ustedes también. Ustedes son muy listos. ¿Ok? Y saben moverle bien a los teléfonos. ¿Ok? Entonces hay que bajar aplicaciones y siempre estar informando a sus familiares a dónde están. Hay aplicaciones incluso aquí en Baja California que se llama 911 Móvil BC.
Pastor Alberto right here. Pastor, basically, how you doing? Again,
Alrighty, God
again,
bless.
every day.
Thanks.
Basically, what they're doing, la Procuraduría General de la Justicia del Estado, they're giving a course of kidnappings, how to prevent that, child abduction and all that stuff, and how to prevent not to be an accomplice also, because the laws over here in Mexico are completely different.
Yeah. Basically, right now the class is for prevention and telling them to take care of themselves, and they don't recommend no one to hire a coyote or something, but if at some time or something you do get to hire a coyote or something, everyone has like your cell phones and everything, and he's saying, okay, just remember the person's face, if you could take a picture of the person or something, if someone's going to cross you over and then something bad happens, nobody wants that to happen. They don't recommend no one to hire a coyote, but if something like that happens to happen in your life or something, you come out kidnapped or something, or someone from your family, make sure that someone from your family or someone from your family have the picture of the person that's going to cross you over, and if something happens and everything, so that you could go directly to the authorities and here's the picture, this is what you have your cell phone, and just giving you some advice, also how so you could build a case also against the kidnapper and everything, so it could be a lot easier for the authorities to catch the person also.
Also, what I want to ask them, I want to ask this guy in charge of the Department of Kidnappings. I want to ask him. They're worried about also just the coyotes. They're not worried about the kidnappings on how these people are getting indoctrinated from lawyers from the United States and activists from the United States that they're coming over here and then crossing them also illegally. So I want to ask them if they know about that situation, about the fake lawyers in our city, and also what are they going to do with the child trafficking, because that is huge.
Well, yeah, well, that's another issue that they need to confront and everything. But right now, basically, all this for prevention and everything. It's very good for the immigrants to have all this information and everything, and to act like precaution for their lives. Like we say, we don't recommend no one to hire a coyote and everything. You're putting your family and everyone else at risk and everything, and things like kidnapping and so many things that can happen. But it's good that the immigrants have this information. If basically the authorities here, their main concern, or that what they would love is if they could have a real good close coordination with the immigrants and tell them, okay, he's the agent in charge of kidnapping and everything said, I'm going to give you my personal phone number and everything, and if you're going through something like that, or you know someone, also you could call directly to me, and we will investigate. And the only way that we could catch these people and everything is that for you to file a police report or call some authorities, so something could be done. But as long as nobody files a police report or no one calls no authorities about whatever's happening, sometimes people are scared to call the authorities and everything, and sometimes they're fearful that they say, because I'm an immigrant, if I file a police report and everything, they're going to deport me and everything. They're telling them, no, that's not going to happen. We're going to protect you, and we're going to do whatever we have to do to release whosoever's in captive.
Okay, so basically, Shelter Agape, like, has always been standing for, stay put, wait for your asylum seeker number, and cross legally to the United States.
Well, that's basically what they need to do. If they want to do everything secure and everything, but we need to give everyone all this information just for precaution and everything. And he has some videos there and some testimonies of some cases. Right now, I got surprised that he's the main chief in charge of kidnapping and everything. He said that he have dealt with hundreds of kidnappers already captured only on immigrants.
Wow.
So that's very interesting.
That's a great statement.
That's a statement that I got surprised when I heard him, that he said it's hundreds of kidnappers that we have apprehended, and only for immigrants. So that's very interesting to know. That's new that
they're doing their job. They're trying to do their job.
They're trying to do as much as they can with what they have and everything. And I know it's just so many things that is going on that probably they need more agents or more authorities.
Yes. Thank you so much, Pastor.
Sure. Thank
you so much.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So we are live. I will translate right now in Spanish. Please wait, people. Básicamente lo que está diciendo el pastor es de que hoy vinieron a dar una clase, ¿no?, de prevención para poder ellos tener el entendimiento de cómo se forma un secuestro, cómo puedes ser parte de un secuestro, cómo puedes prevenir el secuestro y cómo puedes denunciar un secuestro. Y también una información bastante importante es de que es el comandante en jefe de secuestros del Departamento de Secuestros de la Procuraduría General de la Justicia del Estado. El señor, vamos a hacer una entrevista ahorita, a ver si tengo un pequeño momento con él, hacer una entrevista y preguntarle también que cómo están previniendo no solo el secuestro de estos coyotes y el cruce, sino que también de los abogados y los activistas que están cruzando gente ilegalmente hacia los Estados Unidos en la zona del Chaparral. Les estaremos diciendo que hay una actividad enorme en el Chaparral, que por favor se echen una vueltecita y ya les pongan un estate quieto a toda esta gente, y también qué están haciendo para prevenir el secuestro de niños, que es altísimo el nivel de número de niños que están siendo secuestrados para poder usar el candado abierto para cruzar hacia los Estados Unidos. Basically, what I'm saying is that we're going to ask the head chief commander of state of kidnappings right now. It's a great interview that I'm about to do. Ask him what is he going to do, not only with the coyotes, but the activists and the fake lawyers that they're trying to. Those ones are coyotes also. That they are teaching these people how to cheat the loophole and how to cross illegally to the United States, how to advise them and instigate them, and also what are they going to do with all these child trafficking that they are. The system of the United States is against too, because they are an open loophole with this child trafficking, and how they're going to stop that monster. That is my number one thing. I'm going to ask him that. Also, a great thing that he pointed out is that a lot of coyotes have been captured doing all this process. It's really important for us to know how much is the activity of coyotes over here, and how the cartel is being, affronted with this situation about illegal immigrants or irregular immigrants in our state. I will be right back in a few moments. Estaré de regreso en unos momentos, señores. En el albergue Agape haré una entrevista I will upload the interview. I will do it on a recorded video. The interview. I'm sorry, these people are kind of special with live streams, and I will do recorded interview with the head chief of kidnappings, and then I will upload the interview for you guys to know. Haré una entrevista. I will translate now. Haré una entrevista grabada. No lo haré por medio de un Facebook Live, la haré grabada con el comandante de antisecuestros de la Justicia del Estado, la Procuraduría General de la Justicia del Estado. Señores, soy Oscar el Blue para el programa de Border Network News. Paz y bien, porque su país es primero. I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News. Remember, peace and love, and always your country first.